gonna feed them 60 days.
Oh.
11 head.
Oh, like jumping in there.
I keep going 15 days. Hey, tell me about the horse.
Oh, I don't know. He's just an old horse. Well, I don't know. I rode the horse twice since I had him.
Did it get crippled?
I couldn't tell. I just felt. One time I was feeding him, kind of goofing around. I hopped on his back, and I could feel kind of. It didn't feel like a horse that wanted me on his back. And I let Charlotte would ride him, and I towed him around the yard and stuff like that. I figured just Judge, I don't know if it's after the pledge and everything, but in the public forum, I have an update on the water, groundwater authority board. You know, I'd like to get to court. I found out yesterday, kind of some stuff.
Yes, sir.
Call this meeting to order. It's Tuesday, April 28, 2026 at 9 a.m. Commissioner's Courtroom, 162 West First Street, Trinity County Courthouse, Groveland, Texas, 75845. Reverend Mike's going to take us.
Stand by your heads, please. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for another day that we have to serve you. We ask you to be with us today as we conduct the affairs of our county, and let us do it to the best of our ability and God, what's best for the people. God, we want to be pleasing in you in everything that we do in life. So we ask for blessings upon our court, upon our county, on our state, and on our nation. And we give you praise and honor for everything. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Judge, all right. So this was kind of a difficult thing. Tommy and I have been going through people and talking and shaking trees and trying to get this groundwater authority stuff figured out. I believe Houston County at this time is looking to go off on their own. I started off with some guy named Billy Powell from Farm Bureau, and his advice was to team up with another one of these other groundwater authorities. And you go on the groundwater authority website, there's maps, right? And Piney Woods is like Nacogdoches and Angelina, Lufkin area, and then Lower Trinity is going to be Sanjak and Polk, and then you have the Blue Bonnet district, which is like Walker County, and it's pretty big. I called Polk and Sanjak, and I called the Piney Woods, so I guess I called the Lower Trinity and the Piney Woods district, and I talked to their managers. So the managers, I guess, kind of handle everything, and like a city manager would go to city council kind of thing. And Lower Trinity, Polk, and Sanjak said that if we had a letter stating our intention, a formal letter, that they would kind of pitch it to the board on Friday when they have a meeting. But there's a good chance they're not going to want to take us in. Same thing with the Piney Woods up with Lufkin. They're not wanting to take us in. And I started taking it personal, but it was explained to me that those two are fee-based. The citizens don't pay really anything on private water. Large volume producing commercial accounts will pay a fee. And so they're not really incredibly funded over the top, and for them, taking over this area and getting everything right would cost a great deal of time and money and not generate that much revenue. The other option you can do is a tax base, and that's what Houston County is doing from what I understand right now, to where it's a tax kind of like the school district gets a tax. The groundwater authority would be run from a tax, and I think that would create a lot more money to operate this groundwater authority. So you got fee-based, tax-based, and then there's 3 ways you can establish one. There's a petition, a legislative, where they would make it, and I think everything has to go through the legislation, and then the 3rd way is you would get accepted by another groundwater authority. It's kind of complicated. However, I talked to a man named Adam Foster, who's like the manager for all the groundwater authorities in Austin. He sent me some information, and he also said that there's a law firm in Austin that Houston County is using to kind of guide them on this process. 2027 legislative session is kind of geared for this. With all the water stuff, there's 5 other counties that are looking to establish a groundwater authority. I want to say Liberty County doesn't have one, Houston County, Trinity County, and there's a few others, so there's really nothing we can do without a groundwater authority to stop somebody from coming in here and pumping out just obscene amount of water and lowering the aquifer. Texas' rule of capture, can't really tell anybody what they can and can't do with the water they take out, unless you have a groundwater authority that plans years in the future. I want to say Lower Trinity is planning for 28. They're doing the math and projected, increase in population and the aquifer levels to make sure that, generations down the line are going to have enough water. We don't know what's happening over here. It might be worth revisiting with Houston County to see if we're going to establish one together, if they'd be open to it once we kind of everything is shook out the way it's done. But also we need to figure out what kind we want. Do we want a fee-based or a tax-based? Also, this will have to be voted on too. I think it goes up to, the legislation, and then we vote on it here, kind of like a bond election or something like that. And if you do taxes, I think the worry is, the project would be better funded, but people might not vote for it because it would raise taxes. Fee-based, you're going to have an authority that's not as funded, but people would likely vote it in easy because they wouldn't. Most people would not feel a tax increase, and I think it's very little on big commercial accounts as well. So it's a lot of stuff. It's difficult to figure out. It's not going to be easy to do, but I think now is the time to do it before someone else comes in here. Because you talk about resources. You got a lot of timber and land, and it seems like we got a bunch of water. So I really don't know what I'm asking the court, but probably just permission to go a little bit further, maybe talk with this law firm, a consultation. I think they'll probably just visit with me about it before and not have to be formally hired, and see what needs to happen. But that's kind of where we're at. It's not just as easy as yelling groundwater authority and we're safe and appointing 3 or 4 people. So. I don't know, any thoughts? I responded to an email from one of your voters, Tommy, and I told him I'm working on it. I called Trinity Ashby's office and they haven't gotten back with me yet.
What does the funding do provide for up to state permits?
Yeah, so it's going to be, from what I understand, most of these groundwater authority or districts, they have a manager. I think they're usually like a hydrologist or something like that, and they kind of plan, and then you have people that are either elected or appointed on the board, and they kind of present to the board, what they'd like to do, and the board oversees it. I don't think it's much overhead. I don't think it's much building, but I think you would have to have the funding to have one full-time employee with certain credentials, and some kind of permitting, so it seems like office space, one person, something like that. I don't think Polk County and St. Jack brings in that much money. And I don't think Lufkin and Nacogdoches District brings in that much money, and they're managing. So the only thing is you would have wells registered. I think eventually that might be something that's a little different when someone puts a well in, it needs to be registered, but we're not quite there yet. Before it gets serious, we'll have everything go down the line, but there's going to be a little bit of restrictions, a little bit of things that aren't going to be what we're used to, but I think the good outweighs the bad, that we can stop some guy from coming out here buying 2,000 acres and doing a water line, to wherever, pumping out tens of thousands of gallons.
We look for it to happen. Yeah, they're coming this way to get it, I'm kidding.
I say we just keep gathering information, talking to
so,
law
too.
firm, and
Yeah.
hope we get all of our ducks in a row, and then we'll.
We had time,
Yeah.
I think we just need to get it done for the next legislative session. It's like the summer of 2027, so about a year or so.
Sure.
That's nothing definitive, Judge, just another day.
Anything else, suggestion? And number 4, approve of minutes, April 14th, regular session.
I didn't find any discrepancies when I read it to the judge, so we will stop.
All in favor? Number 5, receive quarterly report of the Veteran Service Office.
Morning.
Okay. In this grant period, we have served 12 veterans or spouses or dependents with grant funds. We're coming to the end of funding, not the end of the grant period, but we're running out of funds. There have been 31 unduplicated clients served throughout the grant period, which is great, given the $50,000 that we were given. 27 veterans or spouses were served in ways other than with grant funds. An interesting sort of passion project of mine, and Bill Reeves, is getting veterans who are in unmarked graves, getting that rectified. I think I mentioned that before. We did get one headstone erected. There's a request in for another. Last quarter, I wanted to work on community outreach. I did create a Facebook page just to push out information there. It's on a public platform that's been created, and I also coordinated with others to schedule for to attend or plan for other events. Goals for next quarter, we'll circle back to that. We have an audit on May 8th, which is great because that means TBC is going to come out here and look at our stuff, and that means we can ask questions, which means we can only get better at handing those funds out and becoming more efficient. Given that next month is Military Appreciation Month, I thought a good time to bring up the deaths of veterans in our county. This would be a good time to do it. Since I get notifications of the deaths of veterans in our county. Most of them are natural. Most of our veterans in the county are aging. but we've had 25 since October when I started reporting, and I've regularly started receiving these reports. So do keep their families in your thoughts and prayers. I am coordinating with Lisa Sharp and Altus Hospice to have a military appreciation lunch at the Riata on May 14th from 11 to 2, so it'd be super fantastic if you guys could all come. And that's just to celebrate and appreciate active duty, reservists, and veterans in our county, and their spouses and their children and everyone who is close to them. Now we're going to circle back. I maybe need to change the wording. I asked if I spoke to Judge Martin about this, but I originally asked to get approval from you all to begin fundraising, but maybe I need to change that to accept donations. I'm not sure what the right wording is. When I do things like this lunch that I was talking about, I could go somewhere and I could go to the community center or whatever, it doesn't matter where I go, and I could just stand there and hope people come and I talk about what I do. But the reality is there are decorations that go into it, people want to eat food. You have to normally do something to bring people in, and that costs money, and I will pay for it out of pocket, and I have, but it would be nice to have something to offset those costs. Accepting donations or expanding my budget or doing something would help with that. Also, I'm not sure if this needs to be a separate category, but whenever we get approval to, for example, erect a headstone, the VA, if approved, will pay for the headstone. They'll pay to ship it, but they will not pay to erect it. Someone has to cover that cost. If it's a low-income family member who sees this need, they may not necessarily have the funds to erect the headstone. It would be nice if there was a way to have funds set aside to cover that need. And there are other needs that sort of fall through the cracks. Wall of Honor Society, Debt Cog, sometimes can fill those needs, but sometimes they can't. Sometimes they don't have the funds or what have you. It would be nice to have a fund set aside to cover those needs for the veterans in need. So that's where the fundraising or donations comes in.
She spoke with me earlier about her, just kind of heard me talking about a separate issue that's going to come up later on the docket. We're not supposed to be soliciting donations as a county office. We can accept them if they want to, but that's kind of the deal. I guess what she's saying is if the court wishes her to kind of expand the community outreach, funding needs to be given in some way, either by a budget opening, adding to the budget or finding from another department or something like that to help out. That would be and if someone in the community hears about it and donates and it comes before Commissioner's Court, that'll be just fine. But it's not a 501c3. Mm-hmm. It's not, a nonprofit, it's a county office. That's just, everything's in the right place. It's just semantics,
So if we can find a way to do it the right way, are you guys okay with me moving forward with that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, as far as setting the tombstone, if you ever have one that you need set, I've got a guy that works for me that used to do that, and we'll help you with that.
See.
Just let me know.
Fantastic, thank you.
Thanks for all you've been doing.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I love your report.
Yes, thank you so much.
Good detailed
That's great.
report. Thank you.
Very, very good.
Number 6, receive information to the Trinity Animal Clinic.
She had some stuff going on, so she's got rescheduled till next month.
What is it,
We just
John?
want to table it then.
Is that,
What is it?
she just wants to come and talk about some vicious animals and stuff like that, want to know if we can do something, I don't know. Just, she's wanting to give a little short presentation about what we can do.
We're going to table it, Tommy.
Okay, baby.
Yes.
Second.
She called me yesterday and I got with your office, Judge, and then
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 37, review the active resolution for applying for GOL, construct of emergency shelters, and a 5% match for county funds. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Right.
So this is just for, the emergency shelter that had been in place, after the flooding. I think Ms. Vicki looked into getting this sorted out so that we could have a shelter for the people that were displaced, in natural disasters and such. And this is just a resolution, to agree to the 5% that's called for, and then, we can get that under.
And when will we know whether this is approved or not?
It is, a grant that Langford's working on for us, so it's due, I believe, June 15th. And, they're gonna work on it, get it entered for us, and then she said it's a little difficult to tell when exactly, but she's thinking probably June, or no, I'm sorry, August is when we hear something.
I said in this meeting yesterday about it, and I asked that question. She said the deadline is June 12th or 15th or something, to turn it in, and then she's pretty confident that sometime in August, they'll have an answer, yes or no, if we got it or not.
The amount of it was, what was it, 5 million?
$5,250,000.
And our match is $250,000.
It's gonna be, I did the math on it, it's about 262,000, is what it's gonna be.
5% do about 14,000.
If this passes, where's it gonna be built at?
Out at the Y, land that the county already owns.
They're, when we said in that meeting yesterday, they're actually coming in 2 weeks, and y'all welcome to come too. But they won't come and look with their eyes on the location. Then they will build the building that side.
I'm not against the project whatsoever. I make a motion to approve. I think, we have some funds already in the works for a community center out there, and I do not want to lose that money. We have to spend it by the end of this year, that ARPA money.
Yeah,
There's 400,000 in there,
410.
and,
But I'm putting it on the agenda next time for y'all. I didn't get through with that yesterday.
I made a motion to approve this, but I'm telling you, this is a bird in the hand for two in the bush. We got 400,000, we're not gonna send back to the federal government for not using it, but I'm for this.
A second.
Let's vote on it.
All in favor? Number 8, discuss an act on approval of personal action form.
We had one come in about 6:30 this morning, so, there's a resignation, or, I'm sorry, a separation, so figured I'd go ahead and put it on the agenda.
Make a motion to approve it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Number 9, discuss an act on official bond.
Don't have to do
Number 10, receive monthly payroll report for March 2023.
In March, there were 69 full-time employees, 27 part-time, and 38 temp. Normally, there's about 4 or 5 temp, but elections, those are classified as temporary employees.
I don't have any questions either.
We'll move on. Number 11, discuss and act on approval of receipt filing listing specified in activity report, Trinity County debt schedule, March 2022.
You need a motion? So moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Twelve, discuss an act of approval on monthly financial report for March 2022.
Color again.
Uh-oh, you got a different hat.
Different hat. So I believe you guys have the paperwork there.
Yes.
You have to forgive me, I don't know much more beyond that.
Do I? Well, I love that total action. I understand, it's new.
This hat isn't fitting so well just yet.
We're about 40%.
Over 50%. motion to approve. Make a motion to approve financial report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thirteen, discuss approval of claims and invoices.
Brandy, did we get the bill for the hauling?
No, sir, I haven't gotten it yet.
Still don't have it.
No, sir.
If you reach out to him today and see what the problem is.
Okay.
You see that maintainer cost, Steve? Steve, you see that maintainer transmission on mine? 49,000.
Make a motion to approve. Any more questions?
Second.
You got a deal there, 2050, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'll second that. Yeah,
That's why we have to have a savings account.
absolutely.
We'll only get 1,000 minutes.
We have a motion.
Yeah, I made the motion.
And I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Number 14, discuss an act and approval on budget amendments for Trinity.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'll get the roads played.
That's the transmission.
Everything's sorted after that road, you got tore up, no problems or anything?
Man, I tell you what, that guy calls me every week now. Yes, sir. Every
Who does?
week. The main guy over that fiber optic company calls me every week to ask me if there's any complaints or anything.
Is it the one that goes off Gulf Coast?
Yeah. Yeah. He's
He's over
become my
here.
best friend.
He didn't stop calling me, cause I've been getting them.
Oh, there you go, $1,500.
There you go. Well, he didn't catch us for about, what, 50,000 on the road down?
Something like that.
Yeah.
They paid it and everything's fine.
Yeah. We got it patched and everything, they paid it.
They're just now finding sewer lines that they drill through in the city. People's sewer backed up in their houses and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
Never get that.
Yeah, we'll go more.
Number 15, discuss an act and approval on bids on tax resale property for Trinity County Pleasure.
Got two of them, I'll make a motion to approve them.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
16, discuss an act of approval applying for allocations of funds from Texas Comptroller's unclaimed property. Capital credit.
This is something we do every year. Make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
17, discussing an act on agreement between Tommy Parks and Commissioner Hall Coming for your way.
All this is some drainage issue coming off the big hog, but I'll have to get on some people's property, and I've been talking to Colton about it, instead of, some POA property, but it's also some individual's property, so he said to just have the POA sign and then have the POA go to each house that needs it, that's gonna affect, and have them sign as well, so that's all it is.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 18, discuss an act of obtaining legal counsel and possible on the solar project.
So I put this on there, the people that come in, the company that come in and presented all that to us, reached out to us and said that, the next step for us would be to, go out for looking for, our own legal, representation. And, so this is just saying, you know, let's go forward, and there's a few companies in mind that do this kind of stuff, so it's just saying.
Is it
for us to
Allison
move
Bass?
forward. Allison Bass is one company that represents counties that have these county plants come in, so. But anyway, this is not approving a company, this is just saying, hey, let's move forward and go and get some kind of representation.
Is there a cost involved?
That's, I don't know, we ain't got that far, I guess when we start talking to, you know, I'm sure there's some kind of cost, I don't imagine, but I don't know who pays those, will it be the company that gets put in or what, I don't know.
You might could negotiate that, like our legal fees are paid for, you know, from the solar company. I don't know, I've never done it before. I think what we're talking about is a tax benefit for them, Tommy, is that the reason why we need
Yes.
for what they're asking is some kind of tax release for 10 years or something like that, is the deal?
90%.
I don't know enough about that stuff to comment too much, but since they came before us, there's been people that's for it, and there's been people that's against it, and
Bunch against it.
they say it leaves an after effect, and
Well, we asked all the questions in here, and I'm not for or against it, I just know that, and I believe when y'all said it that last meeting, that if we don't go after this, we'll go to another county, and that's $100,000 in tax revenue that we can get a year for 10 years, and it goes up to regular, and that'll be, for that plant, well, it's a little depreciation, but if it was brand new, it'd be $1 million a year that we would get. But it's gonna have some depreciation with it after 10 years, but.
There's a lot of questions about the after effects.
We asked that question in there, and they said that, let's say it's 30 year, I believe it's 30-year lease is what they said, and at the end, if, let's say, the landowner and then don't come to some sort of agreement, or they wanna move forward, they take everything off the property, they even come in and fill the holes where the poles were, and it's nothing hazardous to any animal or any wildlife or anything, so.
Yeah, that's the discrepancy right now, is the after effects, that it does cause damage to a lot of stuff. I've been asked about it. How many acres are we talking about?
825 acres.
It's all owned by one.
Yeah, one individual, I know.
I don't know how they know what the after effect is, because it's something brand new, isn't it?
That's a good question.
Huh?
That's right.
It's brand new, how would they know about the after effect?
They don't.
Okay. Good job, mate.
But it's not saying we're gonna do it or not, this is just giving us some legal, if, you know, to.
Well, that's fine, but I'd like to know how much this legal is gonna cost, if it's gonna be to the county.
We gotta talk to the law firm first, I say, I'm not in this, I just was CC'd an email where it got, so, I guess the judge, officer, whoever's gonna, I mean, it is in my precinct where this is going in. I guess that's why I'm being CC'd and everything, but.
Did they tell you where the power's going?
It's right there at the end of Sam Houston Electric's.
Yeah, but where is it going? Is it going to Austin or San
No,
Antonio?
they'll be selling it, from what I understand, they'll be selling it to, I guess,
South.
to Sam Houston Electric. Half, or more than half of my precinct is Sam Houston Electric, so I'm guessing, and I asked that question as well in that meeting we had, it does help with the homeowner, a tax break, I mean, not tax break, a break on their, it gets their, electric cheaper. So, I know there's a couple over in Polk County that's, and they're selling the Sam Houston Electric as well. I don't know the after effect, that may be something that we need to ask, which we already did, and they said it's all good. I don't know. It may be a legal question we ask, because these attorneys deal with it all the time. I just know that, $100,000 more a year would be nice to put into this, especially in the pickle that we're in. But I also don't want to harm anything, either. So, just like anything, I think some kinks need to be worked out.
You got a motion on that?
I'll make a motion, we go ahead and just look for, and we don't have to hire them, just start searching.
Yeah. We'll have to hire
But
them.
whoever, if we get somebody, just like we can go out for bids for other stuff, we get somebody that we like, then we'll come back and put it in front of court, and then ultimately everybody make a decision.
Yeah, I agree. We need enough counsel as we can get, so I'll say that.
Okay. All in favor?
19, consideration of authority for the county judge to execute the settlement in the opioid.
Do this every year, don't we, Judge? So move. Consider it all. You go in and get the green light.
That's right. All in favor? Discuss an act on approval for the Trinity County Sheriff's Department to apply for Senate Bill 8.
You get.
Back again. So this is, it's a grant that's made available because our sheriff's office has agreed to work with immigration law enforcement. So they're able to apply for this Senate Bill 8. It helps offset costs for working with immigration law enforcement. So salaries and equipment and anything that's needed for that. So
There's no match required.
there's no match.
So move.
Does it help with housing?
Unfortunately, it is.
So what does it have with
Salaries, equipment.
salaries for our people, or?
Well,
Immigration
for,
Come on.
The grant that's provided for, under Senate Bill 8, it said, the county shall do these things. So as a part of that shall, they opened up this grant payment for all those counties they directed to participate. It will pay for equipment, training, cost incurred in executing that cooperation with ICE, particularly, through our jail as a point of capture. When an alien comes into the jail for whatever charges we have, it allows that to be transitioned, or a phone call to ICE, and they say, hold them, detain them for us, we come pick them up. So it's just to offset those costs with that. It does not, as far as I can tell reading, it doesn't cover like your facilities or building new facilities for It's just to offset those incurred costs in the information.
We're already doing it. We've been doing
This just giving them money to help us or anything like that. It's up to y'all.
I'll second, go ahead. All in favor?
Aye. Have we had any cases like that in our county so far?
We've had one, recent one where it was, our charges that were filed, and that individual is on an ICE detainer right now. And so when his court situation is resolved here, then, more likely than not, ICE will be coming and might pick him up.
Okay. Thank you.
There's no matching funds?
No, sir.
Why does it say on the resolution, court agrees to provide applicable matching funds for the said project as required by the grant application?
It's not required.
Okay. I don't know why I would be in.
No, I agree.
They had no match checked off, so that's why.
You gonna table that?
21.
Receive monthly report from Trinity County Sheriff's Department.
If you don't mind, sir, from here, I'll just say, we did have to provide an update. There was one section that was missing data, and we provided that to the court today.
How many we have in jail?
Currently, right now, we've got 4 inmates, 3 trustees who are being held here local. Those 4 are scheduled for outward movement up to Angelina, and in Angelina right now, this morning, we've got 29 sitting in custody.
Why does this say 33, Angelina?
So that's last month's report, I think.
March. So they charging us just for the inmates we got in there, or are they charging us for the 40 beds?
40 days. They charged us for the full amount last month.
Yeah, but
We had 40 last month though.
I thought they were supposed to farm those out for us if we didn't have them see it, right?
According
Then
to
what?
My understanding was that we had 10 beds available, they were gonna get some other county to fill those beds to offset our costs. Are they doing that?
That's what I'm asking.
The report shows 33 from last month, but we got billed for the full 40.
I want to say last month, though, we had, the 33 was probably just towards the end of last month. It was,
Maybe that's the time of this report.
Right, I think, it fluctuates, so it's not steady at 40 every day. I don't have the information or details to provide, that answer right now, but I can go back and take a look at it and give it to the court.
they I looked at it, was 43. That, it's been a month ago. They've been transferred in.
From what the sheriff over there told me at one of these events he was at over here, said that if we didn't need that many, he wasn't gonna hold us to it. But at some points, like you just said, it was 43, and then there's 28 there now, so I mean, how's he gonna judge if we need it or not, if we're going over some, and then we're not, and going in?
That's what he told me, that he'd only charge us for the beds that they actually use. So now, whether they're doing it, I don't know.
Does it pass deadline, contract? Like bull. Otherwise, like a break period.
Number 22, discuss an act on accepting donations for 9/26 Trinity County Sheriff's Office Scholarship Breakfast.
I think we're gonna,
Who said the table, you know,
You want to tell you?
did you talk to?
I did, since becoming aware of that, issue, what we're doing is, the sheriff is looking at exploring other opportunities that may be out there where we can remove the county out of it, completely, so that the donor funds and stuff would go to another entity that would then help administer and run that program. But right now, we're still in the discovery or searching phase of it, so we don't have a solution to come back and say, this is how we're gonna solve it.
There's not another breakfast scheduled, is there?
Yes,
There is?
yes.
I would say if we know this is improper, that we should stop doing it right now. No one really knew, no one really looked into it, I guess, but an outside auditor, from my understanding, said it's improper for the county to solicit. I just told Michaela the same thing. The reason I knew about it is because it was kind of sent in an email to me, you know, I checked it out. You're not supposed to solicit donations, it's the county. And I think while we're accepting donations this time, usually it doesn't go that way. And I think maybe the sheriff's office knows now that things need to change. I'll send a formal letter that, you know, until it's fixed, the county doesn't need to host any more of these sheriff's breakfasts, because it's a county office soliciting donations, and someone's filing a formal complaint against it, and it's just not, they're right.
And we may have a solution before.
Yeah, that'd be great. If a 501c3 is filed privately, and, you know, the sheriff privately with this 501c3 does these breakfasts and gives funds for these trade school scholarships, I think it's great. And if there's another 501c3 that would like to host them and kind of be the vessel for it, that'd be great too. The county does not need to be involved in this, since we've been put on notice with the auditor, the outside auditor, and other people. Right. Yeah.
How many years has this been going on? 8 years?
I believe, I was told somewhere in the neighborhood between 8 and 10 years of running, doing it that way, so.
Yeah. When is the next one set for?
I don't have the date in front of me, I know it's coming, not this week.
The scholarship fund is a great deal for the kids. It really is. But it has not been handled right. And I've said that before. You cannot use county facilities on county time with county employees doing it on the clock. That's where it's wrong. But I hope it can be worked out and we can keep the scholarship done, but do it the right way.
So we're tabling this, or not accepting this, or what are we?
That's what the asked is for us to do, right?
This is funds that were already received previously, and from my understanding in the past, that whenever the funds were donated, they were brought over to the treasurer's office, accounted for, and then handed into the county and deposited.
Sounds like y'all are cooking up a way to where this is gonna be fixed in the near
Yes.
future. I would say table the acceptance until we have an exit strategy with this.
we haven't had to accept this in 8 years, why we have to do it now?
But an outside auditor came in, looked at it, said it was proper. And if, you know, you don't know until you pull the string. It's been going on as long as I've been elected. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it's been brought up.
I'll make the motion to table it, you know, hopefully, y'all get everything worked out and this will keep going.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
23. Discuss an act of approval on the report for the month of March 2026. JP1, Miss Mary Wallace, $8,396.90. $8,396.90.
Judge, before I forget it, call Casey they brought him home. He's in pretty bad shape. We need to keep him in our care. He's, not doing good.
Precinct 2, Ricky Hartman, $10,878.83. $10,878.83.
That little bit from 3. Damn proud of it.
Precinct 3, Judge Keith Johnson, $13,114.04.
There's your criminals.
$13,114.04.
No, that's just called hard work.
Notice had changed.
Big brother secretaries.
Yeah.
Precinct 4, Richard Steptoe, $5,584.37. $5,584.37. Nancy Dew is $76,058.21. Senator. $76,058.21.
Right now is they're getting auto registration and road bridge rules. And in July, that stops, and
Oh.
we just. no
This ain't
registration.
high, but
Yeah,
Hey, we'll take every time.
it is,
Absolutely.
Julian Steptoe, $20,838.63. $20,838.63. Ms. Shasta Burton, $22,411.80. $22,411.80.
Oh, no, Judge.
Okay. Need a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.